What is going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of the Prop Shop. Once again, filling in for my man Prop Holiday. We were with you guys last night for Sunday Night Football. Successful show. Jameson Williams took care of business. Over 21 and a half, longest reception. Got that done pretty early too. So nice and sweat free. No luck on the touchdowns, but still profitable show. That's why he played the straights. We got more action for you tonight. Monday Night Football, Dolphins, Rams in LA. Should be a good game. I got a couple straight bets for you, a nice little touchdown lay. I'll give out at the end of the show. So thank you guys for watching. Shout out to you guys. We'll try to get you guys in, get you guys out, give you guys everything you need to hopefully make some money on Monday Night Football. So hit that like button if you can for us, nice and early. Helps us get more eyeballs on the stream. But yeah, with that said, we'll get right into it. Little bit, I don't know if I'm really allowed to do this, right? But just pivoting a little bit off of football. Jake Paul fights Friday, right? So I was looking at the lines. I wanted to get a little early start, right? Looking at the lines. And as I was looking at the lines, right? Jake Paul, Jake Paul's line got better, right? It was like minus 220 now, right? So I was like, whoa, like what? I was like, let me make sure this is good. Right. Let me make sure this is right. Checked on multiple books around the same line, right? Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Mike Tyson is 60 years old, guys. 60. Okay. So I'm absolutely gonna hammer that lot. Like I might sell a house, 401k, all of that. Kids ain't going to college, all of that stuff. Lay it on what's his face? Jake Paul. The man is 60 years old, bro. Like, I was expecting Jake to be like minus 1,000. Now, I don't know what's going on if the fix is in, but I'm absolutely going to hammer that. I just wanted to discuss that with you guys because I saw it early. It was my jaw fucking fell on the floor. Um, Anyways, enough of that. That's Friday. Today's Monday. Let's talk some Monday Night Football. Before we do, want to shout out the sponsor of the video, long time sponsor of the video. So shout out to BetMGM. Um, Long standing, one of the best offers available for new users. If you're looking to join BetMGM, right now they're offering $1,500 in bonus bets paid back to you if your first bet loses. Great way to bet with a little bit of peace of mind. Check out the link in the description of this stream to claim the offer. Of course, must be 21 plus. If you have a gambling problem, please call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Shout out to BetMGM for sponsoring the stream. Much, much love. And yeah, if you're looking for a new book, download BetMGM, $1,500. Place a bet, $1,500 if your bet loses. So, really nice offer there. So yeah, let's talk Monday Night Football. Rams, Dolphins. Rams land 2.5. Of course, this is without the definitive news of Tyreek Hill. Obviously, a big piece. I'd assume that's going to affect the line, whether the Rams move half a point, a full point. I'm expecting a line to move. It might affect some props too. Jalen Waddle props, John Smith props. So a little bit tough, just like last night, right? We were waiting on what game was last night? We were waiting on. It'll come to me, guys. It'll come to me. Who played yesterday? It was the Lions against the Texans. Yes, we're waiting on Nico Collins. Thank you, Tone. Holy shit. Waiting on Nico Collins. Obviously, he was ruled out. So big part of the game. Um, and another huge injury. So with Tyreek Hill. So I'd assume he's gonna play, but a lot of the coach speak and what I'm hearing this week didn't sound necessarily great about his perspective to play, but we'll see. So wrist injury, not really gonna affect the running, but can obviously be re-injured. That's also another thing too. I don't like even if he is ruled in, I'm not in love with attacking any of his props. He's become more injury prone as he's been getting up there in age. And risks are funny. Like, yeah, it's not an ankle or a leg or anything like that, but you fall on it wrong. He might make a 50-yard catch, falling it wrong, and now he's in and out the game, and it just can affect his ability to perform consistently so much. So not really in love with any Tyreek props. But let's get into some props that I do love. So we're going to be on the Ram side of the ball for most of the episode. So let's start with Puka. Let's start with Puka. Puka Nakua over 67.5 receiving yards. First bet, best bet for the prop shop. Minus 113 on FanDuel. Yes, this has been kind of public today. I don't really worry too much about that, right? It's a prime time standalone game. Everybody's looking at the same stuff. It's only one game to look at. So I don't worry about too much about that. We're back in the Golden Glove boxer, right? Off of the ejection. So hopefully he keeps his motherfucking hands to himself. And he could play a full game. But been a little bit of a weird season for Puka. Obviously got hurt early, second quarter of the first game. But you look at that game, right? More of the same from uh melting over from last year. Still racked up 4 receptions, 35 yards, and just about a quarter and a little bit. Comes back off an injury, has a monster game, racks up over 100 yards. Then last week, obviously, we talked about it, gets ejected. End of the second quarter, still saw 4 targets, up until that game. So very healthy target share up until that. And that's kind of what we've been accustomed, right? Puka and Cup, one of the most dynamic wide receiver duos in the league. So obviously a small sample size for Puka this year, but still, garnering nearly 40% of the first reads, nearly 40% first read rate this year, which is awesome. That is an astonishing number. Great separation numbers, very healthy 12.1 A dot, which is average depth of target. Looking at the numbers, the Dolphins kind of on paper seem to be a good pass defense. Uh, but I faced some very lackluster quarterbacks and I benefited from teams, running the ball a ton with the absence of Tua for most of the season. Teams are getting big leads, running the ball a lot. So those numbers are very, very skewed. A lot of the Dolphins numbers you kind of got to throw out, especially defensively. A bunch of these Dolphins DBs have extremely low coverage grades, according to PFF, and rank as the seventh worst schedule adjusted pass defense overall. So I like that number, kind of takes into consideration injuries, adjusted schedule, stuff like that. So not really looking good for these Dolphins DBs. The game that the Rams played against the Vikings is important, in my opinion, because I think this game can kind of mirror that game a little bit, right? Just like the Dolphins, the Vikings blitz a lot and try to get consistent pressure on the quarterback. Although the Finns do blitz a lot, they're still middle of the pack in terms of getting pressure. So they're blitzing, but not really getting the pressure consistently that they want. I expect it to be a little bit different with how beat up this Rams O line is. Over the last 2 seasons, though, Puka has led the team in first read rate and overall production when Stafford is blitz. Now, Stafford has been absolutely terrible when he's been pressured this year, but I expect him to try to find his guy early and often. The run game will help with that as well. This Miami run defense is not nearly as good as the Vikings defense. So, you know, I think that Vikings game, like I said, is going to be important, right? And that's a game we saw Puka go over 100 yards, 9 targets, right? Just get peppered with targets early in the game. So I think we can be in for another game like that. And yes, whether it's a volume thing, whether it's Puka getting a couple of bombs, yeah, I think it's a low number. 50-point total. I expect it, although the Rams are favored, I expect this game to be a little bit back and forth, kind of close, high total. I think it's a good environment for Puka to do his thing. Would not be shocked if he gets triple digits again. Might have a little bit extra juice too, coming off the ejection. They might want to get him the ball, early, often, get him back in rhythm. So that's another nice little plus. So starting off with Puka, and then we're gonna stay on the Ram side of the ball. Second best bet of the prop shop. We're gonna go with an under. Now, I play a lot of unders, but I'm not in love with them. I try to keep the stake down. So we're just going half a unit on this one. Kyron Williams under 15 and a half receiving yards. When I gave this out about an hour ago, it's still available at this number on like 3 or 4 books. Playing unders are weird, right? Especially with a low number like this, every yard matters, right? So I know we might get questions about, hey, do I play 14 and a half? I know it was 13 and a half on FanDuel. I would just stay off. If you can't get a 15 and a half, I would just stay off or maybe pivot to his under 2.5 receptions. I like this yardage line better though. We're going back to this. I played this a couple of weeks ago and got burnt against that same Vikings team that we just talked about. I was expecting him to stay in and do a lot more blitz pickup because the Vikings blitz a lot. That obviously wasn't the case. Instead, he soared over the this number, soared over his reception number, and Stafford elected to kind of dump it off to him behind the line of scrimmage a lot to help mitigate that blitz. Miami, like we said in the previous play, blitzes a lot too, but doesn't get nearly the amount of pressure that a team like Minnesota does. So I'm opting for yards here, just in case he gets some of those easy dump offs, behind the line of scrimmage type of stuff. Miami has allowed the least receptions and the fifth fewest receiving yards to running backs this season, and have missed the least amount of tackles in the league by far. I think they were like 8 less missed tackles than the next best team. So they don't miss tackles. Very stout versus the running back position. He only caught one pass last week, but still went over this number. But I watched that play back because I didn't get to watch it live. I was against Seattle. Was a check down, but no Seattle defender was around the man. It was like at least 10 yards of cushion um, to the closest Seattle defender. So just kind of a busted coverage, a breakdown in coverage. Of course, those are going to happen, but can't really cap that. So yes, he, um, you know, got a big gain there on only one reception. So I tip my cap to that. The week before, which was the Vikings game, 5 catches, still barely went over this number, and that just kind of lends into his lack of efficiency as a pass catcher. Um, you know, in the backfield. He's much more of a power downhill runner than a receiving back. Because he's gone over this number back to back games, I think we're getting a bit of a friendly number, versus sure tackling Miami team that's stout versus running back. So for what it's worth, too, much better hit rate at home. He's under this line in 6 of his last 9 home games. So just think it's a volume thing, right? I think Stafford's attempt line is like, I don't want to give you guys fake news. So let me, because I was actually doing the math in my head, right? So Stafford is, according to the books, 33 and a half, 34 and a half pass attempts. That's what the books are projecting him at. I would not be shocked if 20 to 25 of those go to Puka and Cup. So that's like 2/3 of the targets right there. Of course, you're probably going to get some Demarcus Robinson love, some Parkinson love. So just a lack of volume thing, right? With Puka healthy, fully back, fully healthy. Same with Cup. They're going to demand so many targets. Also, this Miami team is very slow paced, so kind of lends well for unders too. Even though I did take a Ram over, but yeah. So um, Kyron Williams under 15 and a half receiving yards. Like I said, I wouldn't play it any lower than this. If you want to pivot, if you still want to play this, I'd pivot to under 2.5 receptions for Kyron. So, yeah, nice little 2 straights. Waiting for the Tyreek news. Like I said, I'm probably going to put out little SGP or builder kind of action, which I like to do for primetime games. But of course, waiting for the Tyreek Hill news. Let's go to the chat real quick. My man Lock is in the chat. Hop in the car. To still so many plays. What else we got? I just took the TD instead of the yards. I think you mean for Puka, maybe? Maybe for Puka, yeah. I like that too. We're gonna get into that in a second. I do like that. I think it's a friendly number, right? Depending on where I took it on DraftKings, but FanDuel has a very friendly number. I think it was like plus 160 on FanDuel. So I like that. I like that a lot. How do you feel about Cup 7+ receptions? That's a weird one, right? Normally, I like to kind of stay away from Rams receivers, right? If this Puka number wasn't so friendly and I didn't think there was immense value, I would have probably stayed off. Because it's very like tit for tat. You know what I'm saying? One game it'll be the Puka show, the next game it'll be the Cooper Cup show. Um, I personally think 6.5 is a little high. I'd make that line 5.5. So I lean towards the under, but I can't take an under with Puka. He can get 4 or 5 receptions within 5 yards, easily in the first half. So and then you're sweating for no fucking reason. So really no play. Really no play. I do think the number's high, but I can't take any under with Cup. Lock likes D Rob TD. Yes, a big number again, coming off a 2 touchdown game. So I can't argue with that. My man Williams in the chat. I think he was rocking with us last night as well. I got in late. What was the first play? We're gonna recap at the end. So I got you with that. My man Kai's in the chat. Salute to my man Kai. There we go. Elias. Shout out to Elias. He was in our he or she was in our me and Locks chat all the time. So big shout out to you. Appreciate you for watching. Puka over 1.5 rush yards. I did see that. I know a couple of people, a couple of smart people that are on that as well. Me personally, I think that market is too volatile. Personally, I know if you're looking at box scores, I think he has in all of his healthy games. I think it was like 7 or 8 straight healthy games where he's gone over this number. He's usually good for at least one rush attempt, but you just got to hope that it goes for positive yardage. You know what I'm saying? That's the tough part, in my opinion. So, you're kind of fucked if he gets a jet sweep or whatever and he loses 3-4 yards. You're kind of fucked. You can't expect him to get any more running work. You know what I'm saying? After that, you're just gonna have to get lucky. So, just throwing a punch count is a healthy game. Yeah, that is not a healthy game. Healthy slash Golden Glove game. So you gotta take that out of it. But yeah, like I said, I know some smart people on that, so I can't blame you at all. All right, we're gonna take a quick break. I appreciate you guys for watching. Like I said at the top, we have a TD parlay coming, so stay tuned for that. We're gonna kick it to my man Brad. We will be back in 30 seconds. Stay tuned.
Wait, before we get back to the picks, I wanted to thank you all for watching. Friends don't let friends watch videos without hitting the like button. So go ahead and press the thumbs up button and like the video. If you're new here and not subscribed, you should go ahead and do so because we're dropping new content each and every day on the GoldBoys Network. We strive to cover every sport and give out picks and analysis and valuable information for free on the GoldBoys Network. So make sure you're subscribed and hit the bell so you can get notified when we drop something new. I'm Brad Thomas. Let's get back to the picks.
Boom. Shout out my man Brad. You heard the man. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Almost at 11,500 followers, subscribers, sorry, on this channel, on the Go Boys Network channel. So help us get there. Like I said last night, a bunch of free stuff going on. My man Krusty's pumping out videos for college basketball, a bunch of live streams and stuff like that. So bunch of stuff, bunch of free content going on the channel. So be sure to subscribe, hit that button for us. We appreciate that a lot. Les says facts. I'm a he. Shout out for jumping on. Yes. Sorry, my brother. Tell me how to pronounce your name too. I always struggle with that. I don't want to be butchering your name. Like I love Brad's happy ass, bro. So he's smiling. Yeah, that's facts. All right, so let's get down to business, right? We gave you some straight bets, right? Some minus money straight bets. Boom, boom, boom. Hopefully both of them hit, so we in profit no matter what. Let's get to the fancy stuff. Got a touchdown parlay for you guys. We're gonna put it up on the screen. We're on DraftKings. I had a nice little Monday Night Football boost, little 33% boost that I used on this. Simple. 3 guys, do your job, right? Your football players, do your job, right? Get in the end zone, and we make some nice money. Kyron Williams, Puka Nacua, Devon Achane. Puka, we already talked about. Somebody in the chat was on him too. I think he gets fed this game early, often. I like the red zone numbers. Like I said, small sample size this year, but going back to last year and looking at this year, like the red zone numbers, like the separation numbers. So just takes one, right? Hopefully it's not Cooper, or hopefully Kyron doesn't, get 3-4 tutties, but like Puka, Kyron is kind of a no-brainer, right? He's a touchdown machine. I'm not going to go over a minus 200 guy to score. And a Devon Achane, right? This one is weird because I see a lot of people on Mostert today. I was like 99% there with getting the Mostert, whether it was his rushing yards or rushing attempts, something along those lines. But what scares me is the snap count, right? Devon Achane still has a stranglehold on red zone snaps, whether it's inside the 20, inside the 10, or inside the 5, especially inside the 5. The numbers kind of surprised me, right? Because you think Mostert, yes, he's a speed guy too, but more of a downhill runner. more of a, I guess, prototypical running back as opposed to A Chain, who can easily be a slot receiver. Um, so I was surprised to see A Chain has such a stranglehold on snaps inside the five and running back attempts inside the five. So like A Chain to score, obviously can do it through the air, can do it on the ground. So yeah, nice little three leg, not the flashiest, not plus 2,000, plus 3,000. I wanted to jump on here, try to give you guys a nice plus money winner. So yeah, 20 into 180. Hopefully, a little sprinkle. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, we end the night with some steak dinner. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, in terms of leans, biggest lean, like I said, was Mostert. My only problem with Mostert is the man was down to 23% snap share last week. That is very concerning. Um, what's this guy's last name? I know it's Wright. I think it's Jalen Wright, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Jalen Wright. His when Tua was hurt, excuse me, and when Mostert was hurt earlier in the year, we saw his snap share, Jalen Wright snap share, reach like the 40s, mid to high 40s. Since the two running backs have been healthy, it's been single digits, right? 6%, 7%. Last week, I think it was around like 17%, right? So he had 6 carries last week too. So that's very concerning. This backfield, I know A Chain is going to eat and get his work, but this backfield is a little bit of a puzzle to me. You know what I'm saying? I looked at his rushing line, it was only 28 and a half. I'm like, why is it so low? Right. And I was very close to playing it. But I'm just going to stay off. Too many question marks for me. In terms of a side, I was back and forth a lot of last night and today with the side. There was a stat that I saw on Twitter. I wish I would have wrote down his name so I give him credit, but it was teams off of 3 consecutive losses versus teams on a 3+ game win streak and made the playoffs last year. Um, Let me get it because it was a very interesting stat. Uh, where is it? Boom. So yes, 3+ game losing streak versus a 3+ game win streak, and a team that made the playoffs last year. Since 2022, um 35, 10 and 2 against the spread. That is ridiculous. That's almost 80%. So I would like the Dolphins, and then I saw that stat, and I'm like, oh, that's compelling. You know what I'm saying? But I think I like the Rams in this spot. At home, more and more this year we see, especially later in the season, very tough to win on the road. I just don't think this Dolphins team is good. Tua, no Tua. I don't think this Dolphins team is good. They have dynamic playmakers. Obviously, Reek, Waddle, who's been a ghost for most of the year. Devon Achane. They have explosive pieces, but they're just not a good team. I don't think they're well coached. I think they're front runners. I think if they fall behind by 10, 14 points, I think they're in trouble tonight. Um, so I think the sharps will tell you that it's a Dolphin spot, desperation spot, 3 straight, 3+, losing streak, all of that good stuff. Desperate for a win. I understand that, but I hate to say it too, but Tua is one hit away from not being in this game anymore, which is obviously very concerning, right? I don't wish that for him. I want him to stay healthy. He's been 2 straight weeks of staying healthy, playing really good football. So shout out to him. But even we saw like last week, right? They're in control for a lot of that game, find a way to lose. Just can't trust teams like that. And now, going against this Rams team on the road, an offense that is fully healthy apart from the O line. The O line is very concerning. They lost Hartenstein last week too, so that's very concerning for me, especially versus a Miami team that likes to blitz a lot. But like I said, Miami's not really getting a ton of pressure. I think Stafford has plenty of weapons to get the ball out quick, get the run game going, which I do think they can get going. This Miami team has been stout at times versus the run, but I think they're going to feed Kyron, 20+ times again. Think they get the run game going. These Miami DBs, I do not trust at all. So yeah, laying a short number, 2.5. I like the Rams. I'm still debating on whether I want to, make that an official play, but like the Rams, will lean over too, over 49.5. Let's see if we got anything going on in the chat. Dumbo says it's Hill playing. We're still waiting on that. Seems like it's a true game time decision. So what I'll assume is that he goes out maybe for warm-ups, an hour and a half before the game, see how he feels, and then we'll know for sure, just like Nico last night. Where is Lock the Books at? Yeah, we're trying to get something going. You know what I'm saying? Lock has very busy schedule, got a new job, all of that stuff. So shout out to him. So trying to make stuff happen. You know what I'm saying? Well, you might be back in your lives pretty soon. We'll see. William says long shot TD Tyler Johnson. That is definitely a long shot. Plus 650. I like it. I like it. You know who else I was looking at? Jalen Wright. We talked about him a little earlier. 50% snap count. Who knows? Maybe A Chain, gets like 3-4 consecutive touches or breaks off a big pass, big run. They get inside the 5. Now he's tired. And instead of going to Mostert, they go to Wright. That was a big number for Wright. So I was looking at that too. Odell Bacon Jr. touchdown might be free coins, by the way, bro. Just send that money to me, bro. I'll get like a Happy Meal with it. Just send me that money. Don't donate like that. All right. So yeah, that pretty much does it. I'll do a quick little recap. First official prop shop play is going to be Puka Nakua over 67.5 receiving yards, minus 113 on FanDuel. Second official play for the prop shop is going to be Kyra Williams under 15.5 receiving yards. If you cannot get that line, I would not take anything lower. That's just my advice. You do what you want, but that's just my advice. I would pivot to under 2.5 receptions if you can't get the 15.5 line. I grab 15.5 on Caesars. And then we have the little touchdown lay, boosted it on DraftKings, Puka, Kyron, 8-chain, all to get in the end zone. Nice little plus 800 upon your head top. Hopefully we go, 2 on the straights, hit a little touchdown parlay, and a steak dinner tonight. So, like I said, last night was a success. First time guest hosting the prop shop was a success. Made some profit. Hopefully, let's do it again. So, that's it for me. If you guys have any questions or anything, feel free to ask before we get out of here. Make sure you smash that like button for us. Really, really helps us out. Super important. See, this is what you gotta love about Lock, right? Lock gets asked for a lock, right? He's like, yo, Lock, what's the lock today? The man says Alec Ingold touchdown, 22-1. That's what the man says. Out of all things, that's what he says. That shit is not hitting, little bro. It's not hitting, bro. Stop. But yeah, that does it for us. Shout out to my man Tone. Excuse me, I can't talk on the 1s and the 2s. Might be back Thursday. I don't really know how that's gonna go. Might be back Thursday. We will see. But until then, that'll do it for us. Nice little 2 straights. Monday Night Football, Rams, Dolphins. Good luck on all your action. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. And I'll talk to you when I talk to you. Peace.